This time, episode 2. Requested. I'll be ranking from worst to best every single Doctor Who companion. Since the Monsters ranking did well as a live stream, this one is not going to be a live stream. This episode, I'm going to do this one offline, just myself as a commentary. Well, let's get straight to it, shall we? As I said, we have all the companions from Susan from 1963 all the way to the present with Jodie Whittaker. Series 11 and 12. And the rankings follow: S tier, which is perfect in my mind; A tier, which is amazing; B tier, great; C tier, good; D tier, average; E, which is bad; and then F, which is worse than shit. Just the worst of the worst. So let's start and begin with Susan Foreman. So yeah, Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter. Straight to C tier for me. From the 60s and just William Hartnell's run in general, I would say not a standout for me. Susan isn't. Not terrible or bad, not even average. I do like her build-up of maturity, growing up, independence. Definitely saw that in the Censorites. That was probably one of her shining examples within her run. Underrated story. Not a well-regarded story the Censorites is, but I would say definitely one of her shining moments was indeed her role and showing her independence within the Censorites and standing up against the Doctor. Nice to see that characterization, and of course that is more of a foreshadowing and a reference to her involvement in what she does, the Daleks' Master Plan. Daleks' Master Plan? Dalek Invasion of Earth. So overall, good companion. It's similar with Barbara for me too. I put her over Susan because of how she actually gets at the Doctor. I think Barbara is the sole reason of why the Doctor actually changed his attitude in the beginning box set. I would say Barbara has the most influence over the Doctor. We could definitely see the tensions running high in like what the characters go through within the Daleks. Especially Ian's like pissed that the Doctor just faked the TARDIS malfunctioning with the fluid link running out of mercury. And as I said, Barbara being the biggest influence of the Doctor changing, especially in The Edge of Destruction, where she literally just stands against him and says, "How dare you," and stuff. That was amazing. A shining moment is definitely within the aspects of the role she plays. Love the animosity and the dynamic between the Toxel. Definitely a shining moment in that story, 100%. For Ian, I put Ian goes in A for me, just because of how the Doctor and him interact. I would say they definitely have the best chemistry out of all the Doctor Who companions is Ian and Barbara, because it's like two egos going against each other. But comparing to Ian and Barbara, Barbara's more open-minded and Ian is more stubborn on his Earth standards. I love sometimes what he does in the story kind of it resembles like me, for instance, like in the Keys of Marinus, when in episode 2, when they were given all this free stuff and it feels like a false sense of security, and Ian goes, "Oh, this is where we have to pay the bill." That kind of just reminds me of my own personality a little bit. So maybe that might have something to do with it, with Ian going in A. But shining example of Ian is probably in the Daleks of trying to convince the Fowls to join forces with them, but even though he doesn't want to, because he doesn't want the Fowls conscious on him, because they should not fight for them, but they should fight for themselves. They should get something out of it and not just save themselves of gaining back the fluid link from the Daleks. So he's very stubborn and very strong on his morals, which again relates to me. So probably that's why he goes into A tier, and I prefer him a lot more to Barbara and Susan, and as well as the dynamic between the Doctor and Ian. I think it's the strongest in William Hartnell's run. So Ian is going into A tier. Amazing. Vicky. Great. Vicky is, I'm not a fan of Vicky. I've always found her annoying, a little frustrating. Romans being one of my favourite all-time 60s stories. Barbara, Ian and the First Doctor shined within that story, doing their own thing, but Vicky was like the odd person out. And I don't really have sort of any strong moments for her. She was always an itch that I couldn't scratch, and I just never felt fond of her at all, not even into the average category. Even her departure was a little bit The Mythmakers is just, it was a little contrived. The writers clearly just wanted they just wanted to toss her away. They didn't know, they just didn't want her anymore, and I can see it. Not a good companion. The actress is amazing and lovely, but for the character, it's just, I just get an taste to her, so shame. Stephen goes into A tier. Oh, look what we got here. We got the men at the top and the women at below. God, I'm going to be exposed as a misogynist. God, we got to change that. Now, believe me, that will change. Come on. I'm only pissing about. In the chase, yeah, there's a lot of witty banter coming from him, but he definitely showed his serious side, especially in the Daleks Master Plan. And the Doctor and Stephen's relationship was one hell tested in the massacre at the end of episode 4. He was basically saying he's had enough. He's just had it. He doesn't want to do this anymore, and that was powerful. That was really good stuff. And his departure too in the Savages, I would say, was really strong and one of his shining moments. So for his shining moments, it's definitely the Daleks Master Plan. See more of a serious side to him. The Massacre, episode 4, where the relationship with the Doctor and Stephen is truly tested. And the Savages, where he wants to stay and help people. And how Big Finish expands that story is really good. So A tier for Stephen. Katerina, I was kind of debating if I wanted to include her or not, but since she's ranked in the official Doctor Who companions list, I said fine. But we haven't had enough of her. I'm just gonna. We just haven't seen. I'm just gonna put her here. I don't really know what to do with her. We didn't really see enough of her. She joined the TARDIS team in the Mythmakers at the end to replace Vicky. Departed in the Daleks Master Plan. I'm pretty sure we all know how she departed. But we just didn't see enough of her. She was like literally in 4 episodes. A very unpredictable moment for the companion. You would not expect her to depart so quickly in the fashion that she did. It was one of the biggest surprises in 60s Who, especially in original transmission. That might have made fans go, well, shit. Yeah. Sarah Kingdom. I like Sarah Kingdom. I'll give her a C. I like doing Big Finish too. I think that's what boosts it to me to a C tier, because I've got a lot more of her companion. But I just like her headstrong, militaristic attitude. Started with the Daleks Master Plan and departed in the Daleks Master Plan. You know, God, just remembering how dark and how many people depart in the Daleks Master Plan and the fashion. Even though I'm keeping it quiet, we all know how Sarah Kingdom and Katerina departed in the story anyway. I don't know why I'm keeping it so quiet, but if you haven't experienced the Daleks Master Plan, please do. And one of her shining examples, I would say, is the Big Finish story that's on Torrens. Dodo. Yeah, we can all agree to that, ladies and gentlemen. We can all agree. We are all in agreement right there. Lovely actress, companion. I think that's all that needs to be said. Moving on. Ben and Polly. For Ben, definitely a hot-headed, stubborn companion. Not like stubborn like Ian Chesterton. He's more stubborn of his morals, of his life morals. Ben, average. I'm gonna say he's average. I've never been too fond of Ben. A lot of my favourite stories of all time he actually features in. The Murder Game, which I recently reviewed. Not sure if it's out yet, but we'll see. The Power of the Daleks, The Moon Base, and The Faceless Ones. All favourite Doctor Who stories of mine. But Ben was always a companion I struggled with. I definitely... Ben and Polly were the first companions to experience the Doctor change his regeneration. But Ben was always very cautious, reserved, hot-headed, brash. But he just never did it for me. Not like Polly, who I preferred Polly. And she gets a C for me. I always found it a sweet and loving. As standouts really go, I'll pull her probably behind, probably there. Yeah, I do prefer Polly to get there. There we go. I do prefer Polly to Ben. I still have the same problems a little bit. They've never been standouts for me in the 60s run. I just can't particularly think of standout moments, especially with the next companion coming up. I don't know, I might be in the minority with that. Ben and Polly's departure was, to put it lightly and generously, it was trash. Yeah, ignore the random change in clothing, it's a brand new day. Anyway, let's move on. Next companion. Jamie McCrimmon. It's Jamie McCrimmon. The second Doctor era is my favourite era of the show. If I love the second Doctor, that means I love Jamie. It's just that simple, really. Nothing much needs to be said. If the second Doctor era is my favourite, then it's no surprise that Jamie would be S tier for me, and I would guess that many people would put him in S or at least A. Come on now. And it blows my mind that they weren't even considering him. Well, this was like back in the day with the Highlanders when he was introduced. He wouldn't be like an actual companion. And God, I wonder if Doctor Who did that direction. But I love the second Doctor and Jamie's relationship. It's like father and son almost. Loyal to the end. And it breaks my heart with the War Games that he forgets everything besides his first adventure in the Highlanders. That always breaks my heart, that does. S tier for Jamie. First S tier one. Victoria. Debuted in the popular Evil of the Daleks. She's not a memorable companion for me, unfortunately. All she does really is scream, lovely woman, and bless her soul, rest in peace to her. Rest in peace. Companion though, there's never one that just stays in my memory really, so I can't really think of standout moments for her really in her run. Perhaps Fury from the Deep, where she has like more of a role of how to defeat the monster, but bit average really. Nothing terrible, like E or F rank, but going in D for me. I could say the same thing about Zoe. I think I prefer Zoe to Victoria. Just as what her character's like. Smart, intelligent, definitely a little sassy and headstrong. Well, not really headstrong, but more stubborn to her own intelligence, I would say. Doesn't like to be wrong, so. But I kind of like that with her. But also, no. To be honest, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna put her in good. I've changed my mind a little bit. I kind of do like Zoe, but in like comparison to like Jamie, that bond is just too strong with the second Doctor and Jamie's. It doesn't equal to that of Victoria's and Zoe's. Although, yeah, the second Doctor came across like more of a father figure to, as well, like with Jamie and Victoria, but with Victoria it felt a little bit patronising. But anyway, Zoe will go in C, Victoria in D. Benton, yeah, straight an A for me. Straight an A. This, even though the second Doctor era is my favourite, the John Pertwee era, with the third Doctor and Unit, that is like the closest resemblance that it feels like a family almost. And they did all get along in real life as well, including Roger Delgado and stuff. They felt like a complete family, and the banter, the wittiness, it was just fantastic. And I can say the same thing for Lethbridge Stewart, but he doesn't go in A. Lethbridge Stewart. He goes in S. Yeah, he goes in S. He goes in S. Come on. Favorite moments for Benton, it would definitely be in Inferno, even because he plays more of an antagonist role because of the parallel universe. I could definitely say the same thing with Lethbridge Stewart. The entirety of season 7, 8. I just love Lethbridge Stewart to a T. Not particularly too fond of it. He just faded away from the show and then just came back again with like the fifth Doctor. I've more kind of wanted a departure for him, but it kind of just like we forget about him. We don't see him, and like the Seeds of Doom and the Android invasion, he's like off in the distance really. So that sucks. But and the reason why that sucks is I want to see him in those stories, but well, that's not how the scripts went. For Mike Yates, I don't prefer him to like Benton and the Brigadier personally, but he's still like great, wonderful. The only thing I can say that puts him B is just I prefer Benton and the Brigadier to him. But again, the unit team along with the third Doctor. The best TARDIS or Doctor Who team ever done. Liz Shaw's underrated. Liz Shaw is underrated. Headstrong, sassy, confident, takes no bullshit. Just so yeah, a lot like Sarah Kingdom really. Yeah, A tier for me. That might be a shock, but man, I love season 7. Liz Shaw's great for me. Standout moments, again, it has to be Inferno when she plays that antagonist role, very militaristic. So, A tier for me. Jo Grant. Oh, come on, we all love Jo. Come on. It's Jo gets an S. Casey Manning, lovely human being. Met her a few times, but she definitely has, in my opinion, probably the most emotional departure of, when the Third Doctor's just driving in the sunset, or just in the sunset of the Green Death. That will always be like, that probably might be my favorite like departure or end to a season, really, along with the War Games. That was powerful stuff. That was awesome, and you definitely see some growth, like naivety and clumsiness, I would say. You can see she fights out of that a little bit, stands up for herself, especially with the Master. Like that a lot. And as I said, has probably the most emotional departure. With good old Peri driving in the sunset. Sarah Jane Smith. Yeah, another S for me. Another strong, solid S. Yes, I know. You can see it's changing a bit now, with not all the men keeping up at the top now. We've got some of the ladies at the top now. I grew up with her, so it's nostalgia, really. Along with Leela, so that can I can give you a guess where Leela going. Again, is nostalgic. Best moments for Sarah Jane Smith. She's definitely badass with that hunting rifle in the Pyramids of Mars. And again, she's such a popular companion. She had her own spin-off series, S tier for Sarah Jane. Oh, and Harry Sullivan. I'm gonna put you at A. Harry Sullivan is so damn underrated. It's criminal. It is criminal. Again, this comes down to nostalgia a little bit. With the Ark in Space and Genesis and Revenge of the Cybermen. I know Revenge of the Cybermen might not be one of the best representations as a story, but it was still like a really early story for me. So yeah, it does have it has a little bit of weight to it, but I just find it criminal. I find it criminal that he's underrated. It's a shame. Best moments is probably the Genesis of the Daleks. Leela gets an S for me. Leela is my favourite. Has always been a favourite of mine. Always been a favourite of mine. It comes down to nostalgia. And I like her growth. And this would be thanks to Big Finish, really. Who really did flesh out and iron out her characters. I'm going to base this on Big Finish because I'm talking about their companions here. So I'm just going to put that in there. Even though I didn't put Big Finish into a retrospect in the previous one. But I'm doing it here. Unfortunately, she was underutilized and had a terrible, rubbish departure in the Invasion of Time. But I always will thank Big Finish and the extended media with the books, who fleshed out her character for not being, primitive and savage. K9. Shit. So that K9. Go. I'm not sure about K9. I'll put him in B. I don't know why I'm finding K9 a little bit difficult to rank here, but I really don't know. I don't know why. He did debut in a very not well-known story of the Invisible Enemy, and then Mark II came along after, was it the Invasion of Time? Which started the Key to Time era, I do believe, if I'm getting my seasons correct. But I definitely liked where Lumbarrow featured two K9 robots. That was pretty fun, that was. Just to reference the extended media. But I'm not sure. K9's never been a standout for me, especially when it comes to nostalgia, but I'm going to keep it a B. Romana, I'll do Romana 1 and 2 at the same time. Romana, again, one of my favourite companions. For her first incarnation, I definitely do like it where sometimes she does put the Doctor in his place, which I do find so damn funny. For a first incarnation, I'm probably gonna give her an A. There's a lot of A's and S's here, man. And for second incarnation, I'm gonna give her an S. She's just so. I find her so level. Maybe I just have some of the headstrong women, maybe because they're all at the top. But yeah, I've got to check out this damn Gallifrey series. It's one of those things where I don't know why I haven't got into it yet. It was like the murder game. I was recommended like for years, and it only took me like a week or like 2 weeks ago when I read it, and I went, "Wow, this is a 10 out of 10." I know for a fact that I love the Gallifrey series. It's got companions who are both in the S tier rank, K9ers, but come on, I've got to check it out. Yeah, Romana 1 is A tier, Romana 2 is A tier. I just prefer Romana 2 to Romana 1. Adric was just a pain in the ass. He's a complete pain in the ass. Dodo was real annoying. Is Adric more shitter than Dodo? Dodo wants me to put like a bullet through my brain. Adric is just an annoying prick, so alright, I'm gonna put him there. I'm so sorry to Dodo, but it's true. She annoys me so much, but yeah, Adric's like a failed version of Jamie, really. Jamie, that was just nailed to a T. They tried to do like a companion a lot like Jamie, but he was just a bit of a hot-headed, annoying brat. Nyssa? Nyssa, I think over the years... yeah, Nyssa's... Yeah, I'm almost average to good. I'll just put her in C tier. She used to be... The cat's meowing. You might hear it. I'll go and check on it in a minute. Probably wants attention or something. But yeah, Nyssa... just over time... went down the ranking for me. I used to like her a lot more, but... it's just gone down. Her departure story is one of the biggest pieces of shit you'll ever experience in your entire life. It is eye-gouging, painful. It is. And if you don't know what I'm referencing Terminus. It's like a time flight story again. Disastrous for Nyssa's departure, but she's just gone down for me. I think other companions just store in my head, and I think that's really the issue, really. Not really much for... yeah, that's all I've got to say about Nyssa. Tegan... average. Yeah. When we get to the 80s, you might see things go downhill with the companions. 60s and 70s is where it's at with Doctor Who. That's where it was just at its best, really. And in terms of the new series, it would be series 1 to 4. And I could put Turlo here, so yeah. Turlo's like a less annoying version of Adric for me. Had a prominent role within the Black Guardian trilogy. And for best moments for Tegan, it's definitely in the... what's it, the Mara? I believe that's the villain from Kinder and Snake Dance, the Mara. Best for Tegan, absolutely. I love the psychedelic stories, even though I've always found Kinder a little overrated. But Chameleon was just shoved in a wardrobe and did jack shit. So probably the most pointless. He did nothing. He did nothing. He was in a cupboard and appeared in the Planet of Fire. Big whoop. Peri? You know what? Yeah. Peri goes in great. Probably my second favourite 80s companion. Yeah, I'm pretty confident with that. Pretty confident. And yeah, sad departure too. Even if you don't count Big Finish as canon. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Peri. Big fan of Peri. B tier for Peri. Mel, if we're talking about Big Finish, I really like Mel in Big Finish. Like, really like her. In the TV series, no, that's where we're not gonna get. She's really good in the Big Finishes. So I'll give it that much. I think I'm being quite kind here. The Big Finishes just boosts her up. That's definitely a standout. TV series I could care less. Big Finish. Ace. I mean, I love me some Virgin books. I love the Virgin New Adventures. Even though we can see she can be quite cold. You know what I mean if you've read the New Adventures and the direction her character takes. Just overall, I'll give Ace an A. Clearly, the best 80s companion. By far. By a margin. Nothing much to say. And that's not just with the TV series, that's also with extended media too. And I'm not particularly referencing Big Finish here, as I stated, I'm referencing the books. Virgin books. Solid. That's definitely a stand. That's where the most character growth we see of Ace is in the expanded universe of the Doctor Who Virgin New Adventures, and I do love the Virgin New Adventures. Grace, yeah, I like Grace of the TV movie. It's only a one-off. Though. I was kind of debating putting one-off companions here, but don't mind the TV movie. The Master's really camp, and Grace is pretty good. And Paul McGann is one sexy ass man. Moving on. Rose Tyler. I'll give her a C. I am a fan of Rose Tyler. Maybe it was like with Series 1. Awesome. Loved her in Series 1. I think it might have been the contrived romance with the 10th Doctor. I was like, alright, yeah, it made me go, a little bit. Especially Doomsday, but maybe that's just me. Mickey Smith. Oh, just get a B. Just get in there. Yeah, I'll leave him there. Mickey Smith's underrated. Poor Mickey. He was, I know he's like kind of made like the laughing stock of the group, but he definitely just proved himself in a lot of stories, especially the Cyberman 2-parter. He's an intelligent guy, but it's just like the Doctor and Mickey's banter, and that's what kind of puts up the ranking a lot for some of these companions. I base it a lot on the Doctors and the companions' banter. And I definitely do like the first... I definitely do like the Ninth Doctor and Mickey's banter a lot. I can say the same with the 10th Doctor too. Captain Jack Harkness, one of the... Yeah, S... Yeah. Oh, where do I put you in S though? I'll put you here. Another S rank. I mean, it's Captain Jack Harkness. Series 1, beautiful. Series 1, perfection. Perfection, and debuted in quite possibly maybe the best new series episode of all time. I'm not sure, well, maybe second, because I do put Dalek very high. Probably first or second, it's so high up. And always recurring through the David Tennant era. And he did come back as well recently. I can't say anything about that, because I haven't watched it. Martha. I've always been quite fond of Series 3 of the new series, actually. I don't really know like what people actually think, the majority opinion of Series 3, but I think it's really well regarded or really underrated. I don't know, I'm just gonna have to look really. I'm unsure how to pinpoint Series 3, but I'll put Martha as good. I did prefer Rose to Martha. Donna. Yeah, I'm giving Donna a B. I'll probably put again, it's with like the Doctor's banter with Donna, and it wasn't like a love romantic relationship with the two of them, which got really annoying. It was more like sibling drama almost, or just again banter, Doctor and Companion banter. If it's really good, I rate it high up. River Song. I'm gonna put her here. In the Silence of the Library, episode with the Vashta Narada. Awesome. But with the Matt Smith era, that's where I kind of faded away from Doctor Who, so that does affect the rating for me. Amy Pond. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Matt Smith era, Amy Pond was my favourite companion from the Matt Smith era. Along with Rory. I put Amy and Rory like together. They just got along the best with Matt Smith. A lot more than Clara, if I'm being perfectly honest. And speaking of Clara, I've never been a fan of Clara. I'll put her in average. Crap, I forgot to add Bill and Nardole from here. But don't worry, I'll just Photoshop it in so I don't have to go through the whole process again. Crazy fact here, I know why I didn't add him, because I never watched Series 10 besides the first 2 episodes, but it's the writing, and I've definitely had it with Jodie Whittaker's era too. The show's in a very Colin Baker area, I would say, and I hope it gets out of it. I hope it gets out of it. Doctor Who's been in this situation so many times in terms of writing, and it goes all the way back to the second Doctor's era, where in season 6 scripts were just thrown away by the producers, some of the team, and Patrick Troughton himself, and he just said this is inept garbage. So Doctor Who's been through this situation before, but it changed and morphed into something else, which made it progress and go on, and that's what we get with the John Pertwee Third Doctor era, and then the new series from following after Sylvester McCoy in the TV movie and the extended media. So that's the reason why I didn't add them. But I'm going a little bit off tangent here. Yaz, Ryan, and Graham. I've had them all together. Average. Nothing that's really blown me out of the park, which I've seen. It was halfway through Jodie's first series, and with the next series coming up when I had a little hiatus, I actually didn't bother watching it because mainly it's come down to a loss of interest. But maybe Doctor Who will, of course, it's a show which always evolves, always changes. So, hopefully we can get out of the... Because we all of us are fully aware in the mud it's in so far into the writing, but we will always be a fan of Doctor Who and support the show. And I always will, 100%. 100%. But yeah, I gone off tangent again. So I've done all the companions ranked from worst to best. I've just worked out my top 5 worst companions, because I don't consider D to be bad, it's average. But the worst companion ever is Chameleon, because his fat ass is in a cupboard all the time. Then it's Dodo, then it's Adric, then it's Katarina, probably because she just wasn't utilised at all. So I'm going to cut her out. Then it's Vicky. Sorry, Clara, but I'm actually going to move you. I'm going to move you in E. Yeah, I'm going to move her there. I am not a Clara fan. But let's do the top 10 companions, which I have worked out here. Number 10 is Ace from the 7th Doctor era. Number 9 is Stephen from the 1st Doctor era, alongside number 8 Ian from the 1st Doctor era. 7th place is Sarah Jane Smith. 6th place, the good old sexy man it is, Captain Jack Harkness. Number 5, the beautiful Romana 2. Number 4, Jo Grant, the lovely Jo Grant by Katie Manning. Number 3, the companion who I actually grew up with and has a secret crush on, Leela. Number 2 is Jamie McCrimmon, and number 1 is the Brigadier. They had the best banter and interaction with the 3rd Doctor, and the Brigadier, god damn it. The 3rd Doctor and the Brigadier, it was just like, it was literally the best. It was the banter, the dialogue, the relationship. It was just it was solid. Along with the 2nd Doctor and Jamie McCrimmon, they might as well be tied, if I'm honest. If I'm being brutally honest. There we go. That's the list. Hope you enjoyed the video. And put in the comments what other tier list ranking I should do next. I'm thinking about doing the Doctors, but I know that video would be extremely controversial by some of my opinions. But hey, that's the fun of it. So thanks for watching, and of course, have a good one, everyone.